We're live. This is, oh shit, I want to get rid of We Are Live, otherwise Buffer's going to have to start fucking suing us here. We've been doing this for years. Once we start getting an actual audience, Buffer's concerned with what we're doing. Anyway, we're on the air here in this sick studio. We are going to run through our sponsors real quick, then we'll let you know who's on our show tonight. Our sponsors, our first one here is Onnit. Onnit is a human optimization website. They make great shit for your body. It's good for your health. Do what they do. Amazon, I'm sure everyone here has heard of Amazon. I don't really need to tell you much about them, but I do have a little bit of a problem with them. Like this is, you ordered golf tees and didn't get them.
Right.
And Michaela ordered a travel binder and didn't get them. I think it's like if it's under $5, they're like, fuck it. And they just take your money and they don't send you what you're looking for.
You know what? Mine looked like it came like across an ocean or two. And it must be just stuck in some duty shops, like, or not shop, but like waiting to have the duty paid on it at some border somewhere.
Yeah, they do them in bulk. So I think in a smaller market, it probably takes longer to get them imported.
Oh, really? So they wait until like there's like a good chunk of golf tees, and then they're like, okay, now we'll release the golf tees.
And they don't deliver it like if it's a cheaper item now, they don't even mail it. They just like have their own dudes that just like show up.
Really?
And drop it off, at least for me.
Okay, Amazon, getting a little question.
Moving on to Audible. They are a sister company, or I don't know how you call it. They're related to Amazon in some kind of weird way.
In that they want your money. But you can listen to audiobooks.
I think you'll get your audiobook right away, though. Like, I don't think they can really fuck you on that one. Yeah. So use them. And then we've actually got a patron of Dollar Shave Club here to tell you about Dollar Shave Club. Oh, God.
There's a dog licking my eye.
Ren, come here. Ren, come here.
She's going to walk across the table.
Oh,
sorry, it's a boy.
It's going to happen.
Sorry, it's a boy. Okay.
Gender's a spectrum, even for dogs. I love Dollar Shave Club. Pretty great. Send you razors every month, and you change them every week. Or you can just not change them every week, and then you have a surplus of razors. That's pretty great.
Okay, Dollar Shave Club.
Come on, Ren.
Shaving you time and shaving you money.
Yeah, that's right. And they send you little cards of like who their patrons are.
Oh, like famous people?
No, it's just like people who inspiring stories. Like, this is Josh.
Oh.
He lives in Nebraska and he really likes making woodworking.
Really?
Here's a picture of a thing he made. Thanks for being a shaving guy, Josh.
That's funny. He just randomly selects patrons to give a shout out to.
Yeah,
I unplugged my microphone.
That's the garbage mic.
Then I fixed it.
We should probably fix that because that's the one that everyone uses.
It's all right.
Most. Yeah, you did a great job recovering there.
Yeah, no problem. I'm a professional.
Yeah, I see that. So,
you were just talking about that before we got started here. The George Carlin back in the day. Were you talking about how...
Oh, political correctness in comedy?
Yeah. Do you mean in the way that they were speaking out against like the puritanical right?
No, just religion? Like saying words you're not supposed to say.
Okay.
Like if you swore on TV or whatever, that was considered kind of like a left-wing action. It was like against... Because like political correctness came from the right. It was like old... Christian people that they were like, yo, I can't say this. And they're like, I'll say it.
Right.
But now it's kind of shifted. And
even just attacking their religion too back then.
Yeah. But now it's funny because it's kind of come full circle. And like, again, you're being told like, don't shit on people's religions. And, but it's coming from the left wing.
In an apologist type of way.
Yeah. Well, not an apologist, but it's just kind of like in a progressive way. And like, before the political, like it was right wing. It was like, you can't say that because we don't want you to. But now the left is like, you shouldn't say that because it's mean. Offensive and mean. It makes people feel bad.
Go for more of an emotional approach on it.
In comedy, it's kind of an interesting thing because like before, like 20 years ago, if you were a comedian and you're kind of talking about controversial topics, people were like, yeah, this guy doesn't listen to the establishment. Yeah, good for him. But now if you're talking about offensive stuff, people are just like, that's not very nice.
Yeah.
People are going to get upset by that.
Yeah. So the new Chappelle stuff is kind of this modern day narration of that.
Yeah, because I mean he has some it's very funny. He's very good. I mean, obviously he's amazing. He's a great comedian, but and not even but like what I love what he does is he'll get political, but it will still wind up being silly in the end. Like, it'll be funny. The punchline of the joke is not just like, and here's my political stance, hold for applause. Yeah. Like, there's a punchline.
Right. Yeah, well, he did a really good job of that. Like, he would bring up a topic, and then he would tell you like kind of how he like actually felt about it.
Yeah.
But then he would tell you how it was bullshit. Mm-hmm. What was the one he did? I can't think of it.
But he saved.
Yeah.
Defending Cosby and all that.
But he saves more than he rapes.
But there was a different one other than that. There was something. It wasn't religion where he's like, yeah, I respect what you do, but now I have to care about it or something.
I think it was the pronoun thing with transgender
right,
people.
Yeah. I think that's what it was. Yeah, and he's like, and now I have to learn new pronouns. He's like, fuck that. I respect you. You know, whatever you want to do, that's fine. I get that. But I'm not having to go out of my fucking way to learn this shit.
Yeah.
That you guys want.
Yeah, and the truth on that is somewhere in the middle. It has to be. Have you heard of that Jordan Peterson guy who's professor here at University of Toronto? Who's in hot water for not using the pronouns.
He got fired from the U of T because he was like, I'm not going to... Or did he get fired?
No,
or is he's just in trouble,
like,
right?
The student body is heavily protesting him.
Yeah. He's a psychologist or something, right?
Yeah.
Is he?
Not a psychologist. I think he's a professor of psychology there.
I think he was English. Wasn't it language? And that's why he's mad?
Linguistics?
Yeah, because he like doesn't want to change...
I think he did psychology.
Or no, philosophy. I think it's philosophy.
Maybe. I just listened to him
because he's talking with Sam Harris and stuff, and they're just talking
I can look him up. What's his name? Say it again.
Jordan Peterson. But I saw a video of
Jordan?
him.
That seems like a young name.
I don't know.
That's a young name for a professor.
You know what I like about him?
He must have been one of the first Jordans.
He's a really smart, he's a really smart guy and like really wealthy, but he's Canadian 62. In his bones. So he's got that
psychologist right there.
He's got that Canadian accent to his voice, but it reminds me of the guy in Fargo who's at the dealership.
Yeah,
you're wasting my time. You're wasting my wife's time. That guy.
Yeah,
because he gets a little perturbed and it starts coming out, but he's got this classic Canadian kind of bumbliness to him.
He doesn't like Sam Harris, according to Wikipedia.
Yeah, I don't
know. Him and Sam Harris have talked in the last couple of Sam Harris's podcasts, and they like disagree, but it's like on very good terms.
Right.
For sure.
I've got some civil shit discourse on that actually to talk about later, but before, I don't want to let my hippie bullshit take over the podcast yet again right away. We got a great funny guy here, so.
Hey, let's get to it, man.
Okay, so I'll take it over.
Let's talk about the Tree of Peace.
No, the one thing, because I found it's exactly what Sam Harris described, but I think I found a better description of it, where you say like, kind of where you're 95% of your choices are made in your subconscious. Like you don't consciously make them; they're just kind of made for you. And I think that was Sam Harris said that, right?
Well, he was debating free will, period.
Right, and then you brought up the reference, like, "Okay, give me a Hollywood movie," and then you say the movie, and it's like, well, did you really choose that? That was something that was already ingrained in you. The one that I heard that rang more true for me than that was like, tell yourself of something that. Like, there's something you like. Like, what do you like comedy, Ivan? Right?
I mean, I should hope so.
How do you feel about
comedy?
How do you feel about it? Yeah. And it's like, okay, now tell yourself you don't like comedy. And it's like, no matter how many times you tell yourself, you're still going to like it. They use ice cream as an example, right? They're like, you think you have choice? Okay, don't like ice cream anymore then. Choose not to like it.
I could probably not like ice cream.
There you go.
But authentically? Or genuinely? Not like ice cream, or just choosing to...
But that's what they're saying, is that you can't... Like, it's in there. You can try tell yourself you don't... Like, I like hockey.
People choose to not like meat anymore. People do that all the time.
Ooh, here we go. We got a guy from the debaters on. This will be good.
No, that's good, because it's on a...
They're coming here, hey?
Because they go, like, I don't like meat. You know, they become a vegetarian.
Does it become less delicious?
For them, probably, yeah. I think they can subconsciously train themselves to not like the taste. It's like people who hypnotize themselves to quit smoking, or people who convince themselves that laundry detergent is delicious and eat it.
But I think that is changing your subconscious. If you use like hypnosis and that, I think the idea behind hypnosis is that you're tapping into the subconscious.
Yeah.
And you're getting to change it from the ground up or whatever, right?
So you can't just surfacely work backwards and go like, I don't like meat anymore.
Right. Yeah, but no, I think you're right.
Well, see, it all boils down to what you mean by don't like, because that becomes the ambiguous term that everyone would focus on. I mean, don't like, does that mean that your taste buds no longer enjoy that, or is it because you have some feeling of guilt or shame because the meat touches your mouth and you've sworn not to eat this, and you become sad like it's bad behavior. But it doesn't mean you don't like the taste.
It's true. It's true. It's like, is the taste bad, or is it just the feeling that it brings about?
Right.
But also, like, you can learn to like stuff that's gross. You know, like as a kid, you don't like coffee, and then as an adult, coffee's fucking delicious. So like, how does that happen? Because like I think people tell themselves that, or like whiskey or whatever, you know, people are like,
I never like beer.
Is there anything that's not a stimulant or like a
like anything that
doesn't inebriate you? That's falls as an example.
Yeah, like an acquired taste would just be like I imagine as you get older you start to like olives. I don't like olives.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I haven't quite grown up yet because I don't like olives.
But
I used to do a bit about green jujubes and how like nobody really likes them, but if anybody would ever come up to me and be like, I would say on stage, like, don't come up to me after the show and be like, I like the lime ones, and I'm like, no, you don't. You're just lying to yourself.
Yeah.
You want to feel like a grown up. You don't like it. You like the red ones. Those are the good ones.
Yeah.
Everybody wants the red ones. No one's like, get those out of here. I want just the green ones. It's like people who, you know, they'll make a big deal out of liking a certain thing. It's only for a social response. It has nothing to do. It's like you're just lying to yourself. You want to feel different and original. So you're like, I love them. Get me the green ones. Like if you were locked in a room alone and you had a bowl of red jujubes and a bowl of green jujubes, you'd just be like, nope, only green for me. Get these red ones out of here. Fuck that. Nobody would do that.
Big phony.
Yeah.
Simon actually brought up a good point about why you'll eat animals. About killing the good ones. Huh?
Who's Simon?
Oh, not Simon. When I say Simon, Ivan.
Simon King? That guy?
Simon. Yeah, let's bring him up. No, you were talking about it earlier?
Oh,
because we were talking about hormone, or like, what is it? Chemicals being all emotional responses are chemicals or something?
Well, I mean, emotions are made in your brain. Your brain is made of chemicals and chemical reactions.
Right. Gray matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just about how like being able to self-analyze your emotions and realize that it's being dictated by perhaps the chemicals that are in your body. For example, when you're hungry, you get angry more quickly, and that's so that you can murder a cute animal and eat it. Like that's you get mad when you're hungry. It's an evolutionary thing, but people are like they refuse to acknowledge the fact that their anger is coming from hunger. Like if you ever meet with someone they're really mad and like being irrational,
yeah,
and you're like, have you eaten today? They're like, how fucking dare you? It's got nothing to do with this. It's like it has everything to do with this.
It has everything to do with it.
I worked in a fucking breakfast restaurant. I know people are the fucking worst before they eat.
Yeah.
And then, like, after they've had food, they're like, listen, I'm so sorry about everything that I did.
Well, what's that restaurant in Vancouver? The something Elbow?
Oh, the Elbow Room.
Yeah, they just yell at you?
Yeah, where they're just rude to you. It's pretty great.
Yeah, I've never been there. But
is there a line that you can't cross in a place like that?
I don't know. I think so. Yeah, I think...
Like, can your server just come and throw your food at you?
No.
Like, what do they do?
I don't think it's a physical thing.
No, I think it's like a reason. Yeah, it's just... They'll make fun of you, you know. I don't think they'll... make fun of you based on like race or religion. I think it's just like they're just kind of like bitchy.
Unless they're that good, like at reading the crowd and walking the line.
Yeah, I don't know how you get to work at one of these places, but yeah, I don't even know if they're still around.
Might be a good place to work out some stuff, eh?
Yeah, you got a problem. And like if you don't finish your meal, they really make fun of you and they make you donate money to Meals on Wheels, which is pretty good.
That's funny.
Who need it more than ever, I suppose.
You know what I did while I was in Vancouver last time was the float house. Did my first float.
Oh, yeah, I've done that.
What'd you think?
I was bored as shit.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, like, I made a mistake. I didn't do it right because I had coffee and then went.
Yeah, that's what that was right on the frequently asked questions or the recommended thing right
You don't
there.
really want to take a stimulant before going into a float.
Yeah.
Just had a huge meal before surgery. I'm going in.
But it bothered me because I was floating in, like, I don't know, like maybe the grade was bad. Nobody leveled it before they poured the foundation of that place, but...
You kept floating.
I kept hitting the wall.
Oh, yeah.
And then it would take me out of whatever, state I was getting into.
Right. I found... Like, I really liked... I've been practicing meditation, so I thought I'd be, like, just on point at this. I was just going to dial it in. But it was a 90-minute float. And for 90 minutes, like, that was too long. Like, I was done after about an hour.
Yeah.
Like, 60 minutes in was good enough for me. The one thing I noticed, though, like, it wasn't as sensory depriving as I had hoped. Like everyone talks about, like you just lose all your senses.
Yeah, you can hear the water.
Were you getting? You were getting. Well,
no, for mine was feel.
You could feel the water.
I could feel the water because the water. I was kind of cold.
Yeah, that's water, on them. It needs to be the right temperature.
Yeah, well, they have it at 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Mine was 94.8.
I don't know what the fuck Fahrenheit is.
Yeah, it's like you take 9 over 32, and then you got a 9. No, it's 9 over 15, and then you minus 32. So take your Celsius and then you times it by 9 over 15 and minus 32.
You times it by a fraction? Oh, that's much less complicated. Thank you.
Yeah, no
Thank
problem.
you for that great shortcut.
Yeah, no problem. Now that you got
of adding fractions to the math. That really helps. It's so easy to do in my brain.
Well, you get it now, right?
Just going to solve for X really quick.
Yeah. I need a sine graph. Yeah, just do some trigonometry. How about this? I'll just Google it.
That's a great idea.
That's way faster.
I don't get why everything can't just be like one simple ratio whenever those things come up, right? You're like, if 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
That is you're describing the metric system.
Right.
It's all ratio based.
But you have to have that fraction and then the minus 32.
No, you don't need a fraction for metric. That's the whole point of it.
Oh, no, for metric, right.
There's no fraction. You just move the decimal place. It's all powers of 10.
Right.
I don't want to get onto a measurement debate here. This isn't a woodworking podcast.
Would you rather speak every language or play every instrument?
Speak every language or play every instrument? Oh. That's pretty good. Probably speak every language because I'm not good at music.
Hang on, just let me mark that up over here.
So if I spoke, I could tell jokes in every language then.
Right.
But although, comedy is very different in every language too.
I think in the hypothetical you would absorb all of that.
Yeah.
All the nuances.
I would understand.
Completely masterfully.
So I could tell jokes in every language.
Right.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Every language for sure.
But anyway, isn't the human body 98.6? Like when you look it up, like the thermometer, you always wanted 98 meant you're normal. So why are they putting the water at 95?
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird.
But then I think they've had to have think this out, right? Like maybe I'm just a little cold-blooded or something. Because like their whole job is to be sensory depriving and to match that water to your body temperature. I don't think they'd accidentally just be off by 2 degrees. But yeah, I felt cold.
Yeah.
And then it kind of fucked me up.
Yeah, that's not good.
I wanted to get out because you just felt like you were taking like a cold bath.
I run pretty, I like things to be hot. I went to a hot springs with my lady over Valentine's Day.
Sounds romantic.
Very romantic. But my whole beef was it was not hot enough. Like we got in the hottest pool and I was like, still nothing.
Really?
It's not doing it for me. And this was the pool that they were like, don't stay in for longer than 10 minutes or you'll die. And I was like, this is still not hot enough.
You're cooking yourself.
Yeah.
They're all
if I'm not losing brain cells from the amount of heat in here, I am not happy.
I don't understand how those cryo chambers work.
Oh, those are dope. I've done that.
Yeah, but how do they get it to minus 270?
It's nitrogen gas.
Right, but then your skin is not affected by this extreme cold temperature?
Yeah, because you don't have time to lose heat.
Oh, okay.
The way the laws of thermodynamics work, you have so much heat in your body that can't leave that rapidly.
No matter how cold it is, you can't freeze to death.
They time it. You're right on the edge, right?
Right. Okay.
More than the time that you'd be in there, you would start to suffer physical damage. And they also make sure that you cover your extremities, so your hands and your feet are in socks and mittens.
Right.
And they also make sure no water.
Well, the
on your underwear, because if you peed and there's a little bit, that'll freeze and then burn you.
Because the concept is to try to freeze you to death, almost, right? To drive all the blood back into your body and your organs.
Yeah, exactly. And then your capillaries reopen when the blood rushes back to the surface, and it helps with kind of circulation
and inflammation.
Yeah.
Skin diseases.
Like you're saying about the law of thermodynamics, it states for heat transfer, the worst heat transfer is solid to air. So you would be solid air. The quickest heat transfer that you would notice is liquid to liquid. Mm-hmm. That's why if you take a hot liquid, then you pour a cold liquid in it, right away the heat transfers immediately.
Yeah. And
then the next closest it would be I think liquid to solid. So that if you have a solid sitting in a liquid,
ice cubes.
Yeah, that's the next closest one. But solid to air is the worst
ice
heat
cubes
transfer.
and iced tea.
That's why they say if you're trying to cool your beer, if you have warm beer and you want it cool, you take paper towels and you wet them, and then you wrap it in the beer, and then you put it in the freezer. Because then the wet paper towels, you have a liquid to solid transfer as opposed to an air to solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little tidbit of information.
But the paper towel is still interacting with the air, so it's liquid to air, then liquid to solid, then solid to solid.
Yeah, you're kind of
solid to liquid.
Kind of hyperlinking them there. Yeah,
there's a lot of different states of matter going on.
Yeah,
in there.
You know, another thing I heard was, but I got to look this up because apparently it's not with brain cells. But they say that you exchange all the cells in your body over 7 years.
7 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything dies and gets reborn.
You replace them? Yeah.
So in 7 years, are you the same person you were before?
Yeah.
No. I mean, yeah.
Physically, no. But mentally, yes.
Mentally, because brain cells don't do it?
But that is the problem with this.
Well, that's why I question what consciousness is what it...
Well, that's what they say about if you were to be...
teleported.
That's right.
Or cloned.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea.
You have to be killed and then reborn. So, like, whatever was you might die in that instance of actual teleportation because you're busted apart.
Right.
Your life force might leave you and will recreate you, but you won't have what it was that made you you.
Yeah, you have to be able to also transmit whatever energy is. You know, it's the whole 7 pounds thing. The soul, like people when they die, they lose that weight. And I was like, well, what is that? Where'd that go?
Yeah, that's what I heard. There's some place that does like a study, and when you die, like you lose a minuscule amount of weight, and people have,
I don't think it's 7 pounds.
I think it got debunked.
They've accredited it to like the soul leaving the body is what people are going with.
I think it's 7 grams.
7 grams, maybe that's it. But there's also, it's not even weight, it's energy. Energy doesn't have weight, right? Something gets hotter, it doesn't get heavier. Same thing, like your body temperature cools when you die, and so that, you know, your consciousness could be in that heat.
Right.
In that energy. I mean, it's fields, right? The universe is a collection of fields, and depending on what field you're in is how what's going to be affected in that field. There's the energy field, there's the fields of matter. There's dark energy, which is its whole other field. We don't know what the fuck that is.
Well, the thing that was proposed to me was like, have you ever heard of a hemispherectomy? That's where they remove half of your brain.
Yeah.
So it's done like most frequently in like adolescents that are having seizures.
Yeah.
So they
just separate them.
They
don't take a whole half.
They don't take. I don't know. Like to me, the way it sounded is they remove it. They take the half out. They don't not.
I think they just separate the connection between the hemispheres, and they can function independently. Because if you took out half of your brain, half your body wouldn't work.
Well, that's why I think they do it in children. Like it has to be done at an early age. But I could be wrong here. But anyway, the question that was proposed to me was that if you did that, if you performed that procedure, and you removed like the one half of the brain, now if you could put that in like a working body, like if you took a healthy brain. Yeah. Split it in two, and then could put that in another body. It's like, which one are you?
Yeah.
So then that was the thing about consciousness. It's like, are you that one? Like to me, I was just like, you're the original one, right?
A brain transplant.
The one that didn't get moved.
OG.
But are you? But are like, what's the other one?
I don't know, guys, but you should see Get Out.
What's Get Out?
It's a movie that just came out.
Have you seen those challenges? The Get Out challenge.
No.
Oh, where people are... I think I've seen it, where they're running and then they turn at the last second. Yeah. And then people just keep
that's how he knows it. That's how you know. You know the movie. He knows the social media gimmick. It's just the thing, you know, the shot where the guy's running the camera and then he cuts off real quick?
Yeah.
All these people are doing that with their own cameras. But they're blowing out an ankle or going through a Walmart shelf or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because they can't turn?
Yeah. They're trying to do it as fast as they can and then...
Go full speed.
Also, if you fall, Jamal, we'll get more clicks.
I enjoy the milk. That's the best challenge, where the people would like smash milk and then fall. Do you see that?
No.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look that up. Fuck this. This is dumb. Look up the milk challenge.
It's just called the milk challenge.
I think so. Yeah, the jug of milk. Challenge.
Well, the jug of milk challenge though is like the
that's when they drink it. Yeah, I forget what it was called.
I remember the one where people are pretending to fall.
They're pretending to fall, and they would just like smash a milk jug on the ground and then fall.
I know there's this lady with a Twitter account, and all she does is stage falls in front of in front of public people. So she's at a movie theater and she just blows her popcorn in an ankle and her face, and everyone around her gets all sympathetic, but she was putting them on.
See, I think if we do milk challenge,
this is just barfing.
Yeah, I don't really just want to watch.
Do the falling milk slip challenge, I think, or like milk jug.
Milk slip prank.
Maybe that's it.
Gallon. I've seen
gallon smash. That's what it's called. The gallon smash. It's so, and they do it in a grocery store, so people.
I know, but that's on camera.
I mean, come on. How can you not love
it? These kids are assholes.
Yeah, they're the worst. I'm glad I didn't work in a grocery store when this was
I mean, it's better than sucker punching elderly people.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, well, he didn't affect anyone else. He just took himself down. That's just aggressive.
Oh, man. And then people help them, right? They're like, oh, are you okay? And you're like, oh, I don't know.
I hit my head.
And now you can't even get up.
And then you pretend that you can't get up. Yeah, it's classic. You keep falling.
Like you're worried about a lawsuit at this point. Was our floor already slippery?
Yeah.
That guy's like, what did you just fucking
That guy's
do?
on phone.
That guy turned too early. He saw it.
Yeah, fall down while you're trying to help him up. Do it.
He's going to fall again. Oh, that guy falls now.
Oh, you got an employee. This is dangerous. Dangerous in front of an
What was
employee.
that? Fruitopia?
I guess. It's like orange juice.
Like, he's going down. Fucking kids are bored as shit.
Well, this is the problem with like the fucking, growing up in the suburbs when there's nothing to do.
But now you're filming everything, so there's this jackass quality to it.
Totally.
Where you got to turn it on.
Yeah. And it's like, it just becomes annoying because you're just causing problems. Like, it's like the do you lift challenge where the guy would just like try to start fights with people. And it's like, so your whole quote unquote prank is you're just insulting dudes and then being like, whoa, you can't hit me. It's a prank. It's like, no, it's not a prank. You're being an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, I'm upset at how little those people get beaten up. Like, I wish they would get beaten up way more.
Yeah.
Like, are you an idiot just going up to people in the street being like, yo, man, you look like shit.
Yeah.
Do you even lift? And it's like, no. And then they drive his face through a car window. Like, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. You know which one I thought about for a while, though? Was... Because I'm fascinated that if I just put my middle finger up, it means so much.
Yeah.
Like, what if I just never said anything, but just fingered everybody?
Yeah.
Until, like, what would happen?
And just see,
Would
like...
people just be like, okay, what's up with this guy? Or would somebody really take so much offense to it by me just doing this?
Somebody might.
Yeah.
It's like on the lift video where the guy, like, starts curling his bike. Because it depends on how insecure people are, right?
Yeah.
Because some people will just make it about them no matter what.
Well, you see, like...
And it really brings out people's own insecurities. Just like, all they need is one little thing. Be like, is that about me?
Yeah.
Is that about... It's like if you're laughing in public, like, are you laughing at me?
Yeah.
What is this? Is this about me?
I will put a stop to this.
Well, that's like... I watched Captain Phillips last night. You ever seen Captain Phillips?
Look at me.
Is that I'm the captain
with
now?
I'm the captain
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks?
Look
at me.
Yeah.
I get that mixed up with the airplane one he was also in.
What one
Sully?
was that?
Really?
Sully.
Right. He's
on
just
the boat,
he's just a good...
Tom Hanks just makes a good captain.
Yeah, he can just operate the machinery,
That guy.
But in that, there's the black Somali dude who says that I'm the captain now.
Yeah.
And he just murders that other one with the pipe wrench at the beginning.
Hey, spoiler alert.
Yeah, sorry if you haven't seen it.
It really sets the tone for his character.
Pipe
Yeah.
wrench murder.
But it's over him calling him a coward.
Yeah.
He's like, you're a coward. And the other guy's like, me? And pulls a gun out and puts it to his head. And then he grabs a pipe wrench and whacks the guy. And you're like, how insecure are you of being a coward that someone can call you a coward and you're ready to murder them?
Yeah, or crash your truck and ruin your music career, Marty McFly. That's what Back to the Future 2 is all about.
Nobody calls me chicken.
Nobody calls me chicken.
Because, that's what I've really started to realize lately is that, like,
that movie was
That's in a
ahead of its time.
high octane environment though. Like I see that in that, like if you were in a prison system or like some sort of cutthroat pirate type life,
where
those
people
really
are very
pirates.
vulnerable.
Yeah, you got to show that animal dominance.
Yeah,
right quick.
Exactly, because that's the only thing that
Marty McFly could have gotten away with just sipping on a milkshake and taking one for the team. For sure.
Well, the only time you can really have that reaction is if, like Ivan was saying, that you're insecure to it.
Yeah, it,
right?
it comes from...
because, like, if someone says...
So what's your insecurity born out of? In a prison system, your insecurity would be born out of looking like
it's
the
social.
weakest beta male here.
Yeah,
I guess
in the prison, it's tribal.
Right.
You know, it's about social proof, social
I would
establishment.
have fear of now being the bitch, I guess, right? Now you just think everyone's going to start walking on you.
Right.
So then you're going to
you need to have
that
some
environment.
kind of dominance.
You got to establish dominance. But, I mean, I think there's a creative way to do it other than murder.
Probably.
Like,
Well, also in a free society like ours, where we're just living, we become the opposite because we see all the wrong things with that alpha male violent thing, like having to smash somebody to assert your dominance.
Yeah.
We live by not doing that for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
Whereas
turn the other cheek.
On the other one, they live by doing it for all the right
Jesus
reasons,
said.
which are few and far between, but they are huge when you're looking in some sort of male dominance hierarchy. Violence becomes a real tool. Everywhere out here, we all accept it as bad, and we stay away from it, and we shun it where we see it.
Not so much. I feel like bullying's really making a comeback.
Did it ever leave? Don't call it a comeback.
Yeah, it never really left, but now it's being accepted more than anything else.
But are kids softer, or are bullies worse?
Bullying and fear is a huge thing now. Look at all the like diversionary tactics in politics. It's all just like, these people they're gonna blow you up.
Could you be bullied, Ivan Decker?
Could I be bullied?
Could I bully you right now?
Probably.
Just through words?
Yeah.
You could let somebody's words bully you?
I mean, I don't know if, I feel like it would affect me. Yeah, I think eventually you can usually get an emotional response out of somebody.
But wouldn't you just dress me down as a person? You'd be like, well, what you say don't matter because you're a fucking clown. Like, you're just spewing all this hate.
Yeah, you can.
None of that's really hitting me. It's not going to stick.
You can do it. You can bounce it off. But, I mean, I feel like as a human being, part of it does affect you. I mean, as a comic who's been on the road for many years, I'm sure I have a thicker shell than most.
You're a little different, yeah.
I went to Fort Mac when I was 21 and told jokes about hamsters. There's been a lot of alpha attacks on my manliness throughout the years. And
that's called School of Hard Knocks, folks.
Well, what was the gig you did that time for like a Ford dealership or something?
Oh, I don't know.
In Manitoba, and if you get famous. I read some article.
Oh, Nacum. Yeah, Nacum, Saskatchewan. It was for a car dealership, and they were very bad and not very nice to me. So if I ever get enough money, I'm going to buy that town hall and bulldoze it.
Because I agree with you that bullying is a really bad thing for kids, and it's something that I'm not.
But it also teaches you about social hierarchy,
right?
But I think it's important to recognize bullying is a horrible thing, especially now with social media. People can be bullied. Because bullying used to be something that was it only happened at school. Because you only saw the people at school. Yeah. But now, everybody's on Facebook, everybody's on the internet, so school doesn't end for these kids. Their social circles are carrying forward. You used to go home, maybe you'd have phone calls, you'd interact with 2 or 3 of your friends at night. There was never that, everybody's together. So, now the high school cafeteria is 24/7. So, of course, that's going to result in some horrible shit, right? Because people are constantly vying for position.
You don't even get your chance to get away from it.
You can't get away from it, and you're just constantly trying to fight for this social thing.
Well, that's why I think that social media is the newest thing, that's been brought into our society that we don't quite have a handle on yet.
Yeah, it was invented to make money, and it's not. I don't think it's good.
Well, even because my most personal experiences with it are through a breakup. Anytime you go through a breakup with a chick, before when you were younger and there was no social media, you would break up and then it was okay, you just don't see that person anymore and they're gone.
Yeah,
but now you have them on social media and you're just getting to see this person's life every day. And now you're not in it and you're like, what the fuck? And it's just a constant reminder hey, remember you used to be here? Remember this? Look how good I'm doing
on this boat.
Yeah. You're like, oh, you son of a
And
bitch.
there's also falsely created profiles too, because social media is selected by the user. You choose what photos to put up. You choose what kind of a life to project. And a lot of that is not truthful. Social media is not an honest representation of who people are.
Yeah.
Everybody is an actor playing a character of the person they want to be.
Right.
And so everybody's consuming that from every direction,
offering a highlight reel.
And that's basically it. You're just trying to put your best self forward.
Well, that acting thing is very true because that's what that's kind of what Bo Burnham says. I don't know if you've seen Make Happy.
Not yet.
Bo Burnham special. He talks. He's like social media was just the answer to a generation that demanded to perform.
Yeah.
Where it's they're like, okay, here, perform everything for each other all the time.
Yeah.
And then he.
It's the when is it my turn generation.
Yeah, and he talks about what makes you happier.
Wait your turn, Tristan. You'll get a turn. You'll get a turn. Not everybody gets a turn.
What was that? Tosh does a bit about that, right? Everyone gets their 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
And he talks about it, and he's like, no, that's a collective. Some of us get 20 years.
That's a per capita.
And that means that none of you get any time.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
It's an Andy Warhol quote too. It's not even a scientific study. People act like the whole 50 Minutes of Fame thing was like something that was projected by a computer. It was projected by a guy who painted cans of fucking soup.
I never got what that kind of
He was like, he just did acid and then was like, in the future, everyone will get 15 minutes of fame. And then somehow that became part of the zeitgeist. And now people act like it's in the Charter of Human Rights. I deserve my 15 minutes. What, because fucking soup guy said you could have it? What's wrong with you? That guy did Blow with the Rolling Stones. He knows.
Yeah, I think even just in our society today, like the people that we idolize are we're way off with the people that we're listening to for advice.
Well, of course. Sure. I mean, the highest paid educator in every state is who? The fucking basketball coach. Yeah. That's who makes the most money in the education system of the United States.
True, yeah.
Every school, every college, you look at every college, who makes the most money out of any of the teachers? Is it the physics professors? Fuck no.
Yeah.
It's the basketball coach or the football coach.
Whatever the school's top program is. Some of them are basketball, some of them are football, some of them are both.
Yeah.
And they just those are $5-6 million salaries.
And this people medical, science, biology, disease research, no, nothing. There's no funding going into that.
Yeah, nor do you have their posters
We
on your
need
wall.
someone to be able to throw a ball next year. Find us the ball throwers. You get the most money. But, I mean, it also has to do with consumption. I'm not going to knock sports. I love them. I'm like anybody else. I want to watch them.
Yeah.
It's great. I want to see people. Sports is great because, I mean, anything. Any spectacle where you get to observe people who are the best in the world at something doing that thing is amazing to watch. That's what you want to consume.
Would you watch a high-level spelling competition?
Sure.
I do.
If I knew that they were...
I mean, when it's on once a year.
Do you follow it? Who's leading?
When it's on once a year, I'll sit and watch and be like...
Yeah. If I knew that they were the best.
The other day, I was trying to spell kaleidoscope, and there's a guy I work with, and he does a lot of crosswords. And he just dug that shit like he was digging it out of like a library. He's like, okay, so it's K-A-L, and he just nailed it.
Is it I-E or E-I? I think it's E-I in kaleidoscope.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you how to spell it. And if I did, I would have to write it down and look at it and be like, yeah, doesn't look right. That I's in the wrong spot.
But there is a process they go through of that's why they ask the origin. And
totally, because you can know. I hosted a spelling bee once, a bar. A bar thought it would be a fun idea to be like, we're just going to have an adult spelling bee. It'll be like pub quiz.
That's hilarious.
It'll be a fun thing. We'll give away a $100 prize. People come down with their friends.
Provocative words.
Have a couple of pictures. We'll shoot some words up there. It'll be great. And it was not great. It was a nightmare. People were so angry at me for not being able to pronounce, because they didn't have pronunciation guides, nothing. They gave me a piece of paper. And so, the words were being projected. There was a disconnect between me. I didn't choose the words. People were, angry with me for being like, you didn't fucking pronounce it right. And then they, use it in a sentence. And
were they even clever words?
Yeah, some of them were pretty up there. And, the crazy thing was, it wasn't the environment you would expect from something like that. It wasn't like a pub quiz. It wasn't groups of people coming and having a picture with their friends and then participating. It was, teachers on their off night came alone, sat at the bar and drank wine angrily when it wasn't their turn. They needed that $100. That just speaks to the economy of Vancouver when people are like, I've already spent the money. It was desperate people. So there was so much anger coming towards me for fuck, do you need I'll give you $100. Yeah. It was also bad because I was making less than that to host it. And if you're ever going to hire somebody to host a contest where they're giving away money, never pay them less than the prize. Right. Because then they don't give a shit or they'll rig it.
It's more lucrative to compete.
Yeah. I'd like to opt out and be a competitor.
Yeah,
that is hilarious. I was just about to ask you, do you think there's ever been an adult spelling bee?
Yeah, no.
But in a serious setting, not in a pub setting, but you said that the pub setting went serious.
People got serious, man. They wanted that money.
That's hilarious.
Well, I think that'll happen almost like it with any competition, right?
They were mad.
They just want to, any competition eventually will boil down to...
Sort of, but that's kind of like an open mic. You're not performing per se.
Yeah.
But you're lining up to do this thing. I just picture it's like a bunch of people with acoustic guitars.
Yeah.
Just coming to try it out.
But if they were all told to play the same song and whoever plays the best,
yeah.
The reason why karaoke's fun is because there's no winner.
Yeah.
But somehow people love and I think it comes from academia, comes from the schooling system of like grading. Everybody wants to be graded. Mm-hmm. They want to be told they're doing a good job. There's no virtue anymore.
This is how I know where I line up. Tell me.
They want approval.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need it. And that's the trouble, I think, with like the job market too, is like so many, especially in like office work and stuff like that, like people from the older generation, they don't realize that millennials, they really need that reinforcement. Because social media is built-in reinforcement too. It's like you put a picture up, how many likes did it get? Oh, it got this many.
It's pretty much just an echo chamber.
Yeah, you can
There's
numerize.
no like, hey, that's pretty dumb.
You can actually put a numerical value on how good your picture is, or like what this post got this many. Ooh, that means it's better.
But
some sort of scoring system.
I guess you could in a sense, but then there's people like it. Like, y'all know if you follow Rob Delaney on Twitter.
Yeah, sure.
He'll put a period up. He'll just do period and tweet it, and it'll get like 30,000 retweets. Of course,
because it's not about quality.
No.
The retweets, the numbers, they don't represent what the industry or average person thinks they represent. And the problem with that is like people assume that their likes or their retweets have value.
Right.
Like people are like, oh, I can't click like on that. It's not worth it for me. And it's like, why the fuck not? It's free for you. Just click like. Just like everything. Who gives a shit? No one's gonna be like, I need to have integrity in the tweets I like. Fuck you. You work in an office. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I can't retweet that. It's not really on brand for me.
I used to.
But do you think the people who are retweeting that period, like say it was 10,000 times, they're just people who are trying to say, oh, I get that.
Yeah, well, because they know.
I get what he means.
Well, they're doing it because they know that when they click retweet, it sends a message to Rob Delaney that says this person retweeted it. And they know that they're like, now I have a close connection to this celebrity.
Oh, you think that's the route they're going?
Yeah, totally.
But I see the route that
they're imagining their own name coming up on his phone.
I get it.
And they're like, ooh, he knows who I am.
I think they're socially posturing to everyone else who actually sees their timeline.
To me, you're taking Stinger more like of an art approach. Like where, like to me, like high-level arts people, they're just a bunch of arrogant fucks. Where like, because there was that painting sold last year or something. It was all red. And it sold for millions of dollars. And it's just a red canvas. And then to me, the art society comes out all highbrow. And it's like, oh, like you just don't get it. You just don't get what this painting is. Is where anyone else looks at it, like it's fucking red. Like I could have done that. And they're trying to say you don't understand. And I feel like that's kind of
I think a lot of it has the cachet.
Well, just with what Rob Delaney's cultivated with his Twitter following, like it's a certain type of humor, it's a certain type of people, and it has done well for him.
Yeah, and he's great at it. You know?
And he's really good at it. But some of those,
but he was promoted early on by Twitter as a funny person too. So like that's his follower count was higher than any other comic.
Yeah, they used to have that, hey?
Because Twitter would always say, like, when you join Twitter, like, might we suggest... Now they go, like, based on who you follow, we'll suggest to other people that are similar. But when they first started, they were just like, you like comedy? Here's a guy.
Yeah, I noticed that with Twitter.
Delaney did a set on Jimmy Kimmel.
On Kimmel, yeah.
What was with that? He, like, took it down because he bombed?
He took it down because he had never done a lot of stand-up. So when you don't do live comedy, Twitter comedy is close, but it's not a across-the-board translation.
Right.
So when you're getting your value of your jokes strictly from those numbers, retweets and likes, and you just take like, okay, well, whatever got the most retweets and likes, obviously that's my funniest joke. But then you're on Kimmel saying like, boy, burritos are great.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that got a lot of retweets and likes, but that's not a funny joke.
Yeah.
He has since, obviously, he has the resources to perform comedy a lot because he has a huge following and he is funny. He's a good writer, but like so much of stand-up is about getting on stage and performing. So like now he's great. Now you can watch him and he knows what he's doing. He's got chops, but like it was kind of a failing on a lot of fronts of like, you're obviously not going to say no when Kimmel's like, hey, come on our show and do a set. Right. But at the same time, it's like, well, you're not ready. You've never done stand-up before.
Yeah.
It'd be like you just went to an open mic and you're like, hey, you want to do a TV taping?
Yeah.
Like, I've done this 3 times.
You got a type 5?
Yeah. So it's a tough thing to do. But I mean, obviously, like the writers of the show helped him pick the set. So it's not horrible. It's not unwatchable. Like it's good. It's fine. There's been worse stand-up sets, and that's saying something. There's comedians that have been doing stand-up for 15 years and have a worse set than a guy who was basically performing stand-up for the first time. Like that just goes to show that Rob Delaney actually is very funny.
Yeah.
And he's it was just it was a victim of circumstance.
Working it out.
Have you what's it like when people start critiquing your stuff? Like, you've done TV.
Yeah, I've done TV, and I've had, YouTube comments saying that I'm bad. I've had reviews say I'm boring, and
what's it like though when like corporate gets into it? Like, you go to tell your jokes, they're like, "Hey, don't do that, do this," and you're like, "Who are you to?"
I don't give a
judge
shit.
My art form?
I'll tell you who they are. The person who's paying me. I'll never be like, "Who are you to tell me what to say?" Oh, the person writing my check? Great. What would you like me to say? If you're a comic and you're like, "No, I'm gonna take the high road here," and not, they're like, the thing that comics need to realize is like, nobody needs you more than you need them, especially in the industry.
Right.
If you're gonna try to make a stand and be like, "Nah, I have to be able to say this," they're gonna be like, "All right, well, enjoy never being on TV then."
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna be some Lenny Bruce character in history because you
want to be
told some club owner at the Chuckle Hut that you're not doing it.
Yeah, but even then you're not, because you're not as funny as Lenny Bruce.
Right.
And you're not. It's like people just want to.
That one's tough though, the Lenny Bruce thing, because it's all about the era.
Yeah, totally.
I can't tap into it. It's so far back.
Yeah.
You go, holy shit, like this was absurd. It's like thinking how Elvis Presley was too sexual.
Totally.
For the time. You're
totally.
Going, what? But at the time, everyone was so puritanical.
Yeah.
They're like, no, I don't want my daughter watching that. I don't want that guy coming to my city.
He moves his hips. See that hip movement?
He's swiveling. He's gyrating.
Inappropriate. Dancing's for the waist up only.
Maybe twist your knee.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think that, like, you really got to pick the hill to die on when it comes to that kind of stuff. And it's always so hilarious. It's a classic thing with new comics. There will always be, every few months, there's a big blow up in the comedy community because somebody's like, "Somebody told me I couldn't say this joke. Yeah. It's my joke and I'm going to say it." And it's like, A, it's not your joke. You've been doing comedy 6 months. You think you're the first person to make a comparison between jerking off and eating McDonald's?
Yeah.
Fuck you. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Also, it's not even that good. And, like, you're going to give up work. Like, just stop telling it and write another joke. You know, if you're a comedian, you should be able to do that.
Right.
It's just so crazy to me that people will just fight. Like, it's about freedom of speech. And that whole thing, like, the freedom of speech element of comedy is very annoying to me because people will tell stuff that is horrible and, like, upsetting and not funny is the main point.
Right.
It's not funny, but they'll be like, "Oh, you guys just don't like it, and you're trying to stifle I have the right to say this." And it's like, yeah, and we have the right to hate it. Like, that's not, just because you have the right to say it doesn't mean we have to listen to it. We don't have to buy a ticket. We don't have to love your comedy.
That should all be self-regulating though, right?
That's all part of the freedom of speech movement.
Yeah.
It's freedom of expression. I have the freedom to boo you and tell you that your act is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
That's part of the freedom too.
It's part of the deal, yeah. You can't have one without the other.
You want to be a genie? You got it. And everything that goes with it. Go watch Aladdin. You'll get my reference.
Yeah, that's an interesting one because if you're funny, you can say anything you want.
Sure.
It's been proven through history. Like we were saying about like comedy a little while back. You listen to Eddie Murphy's 2 specials.
Yeah.
Insanely homophobic, fucking like hard to hear in this day and age.
Yeah.
But was insanely funny back. It's still funny now if you're watching it in the right context.
Yeah.
But
sure.
It was all funny. All gut-bustingly funny. So no one batted.
Well, I mean, that was all comedy in the 90s was like,
Right.
Hey, aren't gay people a bit weird?
Yeah.
Like, all of Friends, the whole thing of the amount of jokes from the 90s where the episodes was like, "I went to a movie with another man. People thought we were gay.
Yeah.
Oh, no."
Yeah.
That's the fucking plot of like 90% of shitty sitcoms.
So straight men can identify with the paranoia
from that era. Yeah, and it was like a way to like backdoor your way into be like, "See, I'm being progressive, but not really. I'm staying safe." You know, it was a whole thing. Like Friends, there was so much of like, Ross might be gay, or whoever it is, Chandler.
Yeah. Or the one where they had John Lovitz come on, and he was just the classical stoner.
Yeah.
They say they caught him smoking a J in the hallway, and then he comes in, he's eating all the cereal, and it's kind of spacey, and you're like, this is ridiculous.
You're like, ooh, this guy's high.
Yeah. This is too on.
Ooh. Yeah, I just think that it's...
Well, didn't that comic in Canada, it cost him money? to tell an offensive joke?
Well, that one comic, everyone got upset about the guy who made fun of the handicapped kid who got to sing for...
Oh, Mike Ward?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck, that guy won, like, Comic of the Year.
Yeah.
And he's also... The thing that was so ridiculous was that he had a Kickstarter to pay his legal fees.
Yeah.
And what he neglected to mention before the Kickstarter was that guy makes millions.
Oh, really?
He's a fucking millionaire. Like, he's killing it.
Yeah.
He's doing great. He's not like a struggling artist like some
well,
comic in Toronto. It's like, I live in a
me.
Basement suite. Things aren't going well. And now I make fun of this kid and it's no good. Like, the guy's got multiple TV appearances. He sells out theaters all over Quebec. Yeah. He's doing fine. He has more than one car. And, like, the average person is like, we got to chip in for his legal bills. Fuck that.
Yeah, well, I saw, because, the way it was portrayed to me was exactly that he was like a struggling dude needing money because he told this joke, and now he's got to pay a bunch of money.
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't even that. It was a pretty good joke.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that bad.
I think it's funny. But, like, yeah, the thing about it is it went a little bit too far as him being heralded as, like, some hero of the people for being like, I mean, at the end of the day, you still did make fun of
a handicapped
person. But it was a big bone of contention at Just for Laughs last summer because that was like, he was in the middle of it and Mike was there and he was doing shows. And, the thing about it being a comedian is you're always going to be on the side of comedy. Right. I'll make fun of other comics as much as I can or whatever. But when there's an outside force trying to, it's like the Voltaire thing. Like I'll let you, I might think your shit is very unfunny, but I still think people shouldn't have to tell you not to do it.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of...
Like, the legal ramifications of it is, like, pretty, like, I don't think you should be able to sue a comic for, like, pain and suffering, being like, people bullied me because of this.
Well, see, I was getting to that a little bit earlier, right? Was, like, when can you be bullied? Because I think bullying kids is a big problem.
Yeah,
but absolutely. Bullying adults is fucking weird to me.
Well, that's all, and the internet, like...
But where does that threshold get crossed? When do you become a person who I don't feel sorry for you being bullied anymore because you're supposed to be a grown-ass person?
Yeah, or just like you're being a dick and you deserved it,
Yeah.
Like when people get trolled.
But everything's circumstantial. Like if someone's being bullied and they're an adult, I go, oh, man, like if Alex was being bullied by someone, I go, what the fuck are you thinking? Like investing anything in this person? This person's silly or whatever. You just
it's like don't read the comments.
Yeah. For sure. You like to really be bullied, and it wouldn't even be bullying. You'd have to actually respect the person who was saying these things.
Yeah, and they need to be making a logical argument against you.
Right, and then at that point, you just need to swallow it because it's probably true.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the reason why it affects kids so much is because they're just learning about their social standing, and it's like the first time they've ever tried to establish in a group dynamic. High school is like, it's your first kind of foray into a social experiment, and everybody kind of like...
you get like there's a hierarchy.
Yeah, and people don't understand that after high school, these hierarchies that are established are going to change completely. People are going to go to different colleges. They're going to go get different jobs. In every social scenario, there is a hierarchy. There is whatever, but it changes. You have a chance to change position depending on where you go next, and... kids don't understand that. They think high school is the be-all, end-all of it. Like, if I'm not popular here, I'll never be. But, like, the sad truth and reality of it is, like, you kind of don't want to be popular in high school. Because then that, then you never learn how to fight for that position. Because if it just lands in your lap, okay, now you're going to be a guy with a picture of yourself on the track team and you're a realtor. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You were popular in high school.
Yeah.
What are you gonna fucking harken back to those days for the rest of your goddamn life?
Yeah,
Those were the days, man. I had a cool car and a job.
Uncle Rico.
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly. Football quarterback or something.
But I mean, it's not to say that everybody that's popular in high school doesn't amount to anything. But it's like people just don't understand, and it's kind of the issue with the internet is it's so much anonymity. We've given everybody a voice, and then
you don't those negative repercussions that are supposed to evolve your behavior. So you say something hurtful to someone and you see them be hurt by it.
Yeah.
And you go, oh my God, that
you don't have
bad.
to be there.
Yeah, and you're supposed to like not want to do that anymore. But when you don't see it, you just go,
You don't even have to experience it. You just let it go because like when you type it in, you just hit enter and that's it. Like it's not even like saying it. Because you say it even on a phone to somebody.
Yeah, you get a response.
You get the response. But in on the internet, like, you just leave a comment of whatever, just like, fuck you.
And it's a bunch of people saying things they wouldn't say if they were looking you in the eye.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I am I have a lot of experience with the worst type of people on the internet because I play online video games. So
right.
If you want a really good cross section of just the underbelly dog shit humans that are out there, like, it's getting very hard to even self-identify as somebody who plays video games because the average person that does is a garbage human.
Yeah.
You know, like,
when you throw on Grand Theft Auto and just go to the group chat.
It's like if somebody ever has like I'm a gamer, like, in their Twitter, you're like, oh, well, I probably won't have to scroll far for something sexist or homophobic or fucking horrible.
Yeah. It's about ethics in gaming journalism.
Yeah, it's ethics in gaming journalism. No, it's not, you fucking MRA idiot. Like, yeah, it's such a, because it is kind of a place for, and it's becoming less and less so, but it's, kind of, video games have always been a safe haven for social outcasts. So, like, it's people who don't interact well with other people. And so they then go to this place of other people who aren't good at interacting, and then they just kind of feed off each other. There's so much anger and rage. And
well, then you can also assert your dominance through the video game, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you could never do it intellectually.
But you don't, because you blame others. You'll blame your teammates. The most aggression online doesn't come from your opponents. It comes from your teammates who are like, I'm losing because of you, you fucking loser.
Right.
You suck. You're really fucking this up for us.
Yeah, well, that's what I always found with people who never were into team sports.
Yeah.
I found them just to be kind of weird because they don't
understand how to be a team player.
Yeah, they would just accredit exactly like you're saying the loss to everyone else. They're like, yeah, man, I could never play a team sport because everyone else just sucks.
It's like
makes me look bad.
But there is that argument where it's like, Jimmy dropped the ball, so now I'm a fucking loser.
Yeah.
How did that work?
Yeah.
Right? So, like, yeah. But
you just got to play.
You're better than everyone, the holier than thou.
But it doesn't help. It never helps to be that, because you're getting put with a group of strangers online, right? Say you're playing a game where it's 5-on-5, right? Your Counter-Strikes, your League of Legends, whatever.
Yeah.
5-on-5, you're with 4 strangers. You're never going to see these people again. So what fucking benefit is it to just be like, hey, because it'll always get to the point. It's actually hilarious. You can, like, count it. Like, if you ever play, you'll be like, there'll be a play at the beginning of the game or something like that puts your team behind, right? Somebody will die, somebody will get an objective, whatever. Now your team's trailing, and then it's like you could start a timer to be like, how long until everybody starts blaming each other?
Right.
Let's see who, everybody just starts looking, being like, okay, who's the fucking person we all got to blame? Mm-hmm. And then they'll just dogpile. Be like, and everybody's hoping it's not them. So they're waiting for somebody to take the first shot at somebody else, and then everybody will just pile. Fuck that guy, not me.
You fucked us.
It's that fucking guy. And it's just a culture of like, hey, it's fucking that guy's fault. I take no responsibility. It's like we're all losing as a team.
Yeah, well, that's that thing about people saying, like, with wanting Trump to fail, right? They're like, wanting Trump to fail is like having the pilot of the plane that you're on wanting to see him crash.
Yeah.
Like, we're all on this ship.
Yeah,
we need him to succeed. And if we're all just hoping he fails, like, yeah, you're doing that. Like, yeah, it wasn't me, it was him.
Yeah.
It's like, you're going down with him, man.
Yeah, the words would be a point of contention because to be impeached would be to fail, but I don't think it would crash the plane.
Yeah.
It's like you just want the co-pilot to take the goddamn steering wheel.
But we don't.
Even though you don't want
because the co-pilot is horrible.
Yeah, he's worse. I don't know if you can really compare it, but in a classical sense, Mike Pence is fucking awful.
I feel like if Trump was like a sports team, they would just be going on that motto, like, the best defense is a good offense.
Yeah.
Because he's just constantly attacking everyone all the time.
Well, I think it's so crazy that he's, he was elected, so he has a right to be there. But I don't know if it's common to still have rallies after you won.
Right.
Like, you already won. Like, it's weird that you're still out. Like, you're campaigning post-win.
Yeah.
You know what he's done?
Seems a little odd.
Now you're gloating.
What he's done is he's already opened his campaign for the next term.
Totally.
And by doing that, he can take campaign contributions.
Yeah.
So all this money comes funneling into from the super PACs.
Yeah.
And it's okay because he's already running.
He's already running in,
really?
in 2020.
That's the deal.
I mean, it's okay in whatever sense that means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because those things are awful.
Yeah.
The fact that people can pay money to political
Well, it's like Christy Clark's campaign up here took $60,000 from people who want to shoot grizzly bears.
Really?
They accepted a $60,000 contribution from an American trophy hunting organization that goes around the world. You know, rich white guys that want to fucking shoot a rhino or a tiger.
Yeah.
And they shoot a ton of grizzly bears up here. And, you know, they were like, hey, just so you know, like, if you stay in and let us fucking come kill these bears, here's $60,000. How about that, lady? Buy yourself a couple new pantsuits. Get yourself a fucking haircut.
Now you can put your kid in that fucking private school you're into.
Yeah. But, I mean, let's not talk about Canadian politics. It's only so relevant to us. Let's keep talking about America.
It truly is the CFL to the NFL, though, isn't it? Canadian politics. It's so low-key.
But I just think it's so funny that Canadians are, like, so into America. Like, people are protesting Trump in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And it's like, you realize, like, we have politicians, too, that are fucking up.
Yeah, well, that's what I find.
You could direct your energy elsewhere.
Yeah, somewhere that's going to do something.
Yeah.
Well,
you're protesting a president of a country that isn't yours.
Let's talk a bit about cause and effect.
Yeah.
Well, that's the one thing I find with Canadians is like, and you talk to like the majority of Canadians and they will shit on Americans like so quick. Like, they're fat, they're all dumb, they're this. And you're like, we're not that much different.
Oh, and the further the closer that towns get to America, the more they're like, fucking Americans are dumb. And I'm like, you're holding a gun.
Yeah,
like,
you're holding. Yeah,
you're currently making out with your cousin. What are you talking about?
They're only 80 miles away over there.
It's fucking Fort Nelson. Yeah, fucking America. Glad I don't live there.
Yeah, that's what I find is so funny is people are just not, like, I guess, self-reflective enough or self-aware enough that we're a lot of the same way. Like, the one that always got me was the fat thing. They're always like, people always say how fat Americans are. And you're like, we're just as fat.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's really just a numbers game.
To as much heart disease.
It's purely a numbers game with 350 million
Well, they have 10
people.
times what we do.
There's so many things to put on the news to make them look like buffoons. For 24 hours, you can show all the worst of the worst, and then just show a Florida guy here. And
why does Florida have all the issues? Florida, to me, seems like if I wanted to live anywhere, it would be California or Florida.
People don't think about Florida the way it is. I've never been, but people think of Disneyland and Miami. And it's just not. Northern Florida.
Disney World.
Disney World?
Yeah.
The Northern Florida is a cesspool.
Yeah. But, I mean, there's so many. I mean, so's fucking Northern Alberta.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, Northern Saskatchewan. Like, I mean, obviously there are great people that live in all of those places. But the further you get away from a city, that's going to be a haven for people who can find people that look like them and think like them. And they're not going to, you know, you can say the N-word in a bar.
Yeah.
And if you're not in a big city, no one's going to challenge you. And some people just, they want to live in that safety. They don't want to be challenged, right? They're like, I was raised a certain way. My daddy said that word, and he taught me that these people that are different than me are bad, and I don't want to live near them, so I'm going to go to this place that's far away, and I'm going to not let them bother me, and then I'm going to die. And that's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You want to go live in the woods and not bother anybody and be a fucking bigot? Go ahead.
Well, they're willing to swamp it out with gators and shit.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's what they're doing. Big fan boats.
You're so afraid of gay people, you're willing to live around alligators. You know what? Good for you.
Yeah. In their natural habitat.
Yeah.
Where they're creeping up on you all day long.
Yeah. You got a fucking spider in your house that can kill you.
Well, that's what I don't
And your nearest hospital is like a helicopter away. And you're going to do that just because you don't like queers designing curtains.
What was the Chappelle talks about AIDS? Isn't it funny how the only disease they come out with kills what rich white people hate?
Yeah.
Kills all the blacks, the gays, drug users. Made you really question it. But I don't think, do you think they could engineer something? There's no way, right?
No, I think
they say gay, like to be gay, one of the things they're like theories are saying now is that it's part of you, like it's in your DNA or whatever. It's like part of your chemical makeup. It's not really a choice.
Yeah.
So with modern science, could they rig up a disease that would just attack people with that?
Well, there was an episode of 30 Rock and a true thing that the CIA did work for years on something called the gay bomb.
Really?
That was designed as a chemical agent that they were going to drop on enemy soldiers and make them all start making out with each other.
Oh, just make them gay. So it's not to kill the gays, but to convert them.
Yeah, so you would make the entire enemy army gay, and they would become so infatuated with each other that they would stop fighting and start kissing.
See, I could get behind that if it stopped war.
Fucking each other.
As long as you weren't using that as a tactic to get them to be kissing.
But it's
and now
insane.
Like as if even you were in a war zone, like you're in the trenches, and there's a hot broad next to you that you're just gonna drop the gun, drop survival, and just fuck because you're so deathly attracted to this person.
Yeah, that happened a lot, actually. They did that a lot.
What do you mean?
In like Germany and stuff, when they would invade a town and there were women there, they'd be like, "All right, forget it. I'm not fighting today.
Yeah.
We're near a lady again."
They kind of show that in that movie Fury.
Yeah.
With Brad Pitt, like they get to the one house and there's a couple broads there, and they're like, "Yep, my turn."
But to instantly turn.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. If you're in the middle of like a firefight,
yeah, I think if there's
he
a firefight,
he threw the dust bomb at me, and now I can't help but go suck his dick. And he shot me while I was walking over. There was no.
Yeah.
Damn.
No, I don't think that's. It was, but they spent money on it.
They tried it.
They don't get it.
Nice to see the trying thing.
They tried to do a lot of that. Like, there's the whole theory that like
control.
Lee Harvey Oswald was killed by a genetically engineered disease because he just got cancer in prison. Like,
right.
Or not Lee Harvey Oswald, the guy who shot him. Whoever that guy was.
Jack Ruby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just like shot Lee Harvey Oswald and then later died of cancer in jail like very quickly. So they're like, well, how did that happen?
Yeah, that one's weird. Every time I crawl up that conspiracy ladder, it's just you start to realize that you're assuming there's this higher power, this
guy in a chair.
Yeah, these
top.
people that are the shadow government.
There isn't,
and you're like, come on, man, people aren't that confident. You like to think they are. I watch movies and shit, but
yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's fun to have that drama, but really, the debunking of any conspiracy theory is just to take a minute and examine if what you're proposing as a theory affects the very people that it is supposed to benefit. For example, like there's a cure for cancer, but they won't give it to us. Only the rich people have it. Okay, well, do rich people die of cancer? Yes, Steve Jobs. There you go. That theory's stupid.
Yeah, that's exactly what we talked about on the podcast before. As soon as Jobs died of it, you're like, hey, if anyone was going to get the cure, it would have been Jobs. Yeah. And he didn't get it.
Or maybe he just was like, I don't want it. That's what
maybe they didn't trust him to keep his mouth shut.
Yeah.
I'll design my own cure.
It's only for us, Steve. It's not for the peasants. Shut up about it.
Question is then you have to question, exactly that. Will the guy keep it a secret? And is saving this one man's life worth the truth getting out?
Oh, the secret. The Bilderbergers. Building 7! Building 7!
The Illuminati.
What happened to Building 7?
I still don't get that Building 7
Pentaveret.
thing. I still don't get it at all.
The Queen, the Vatican.
I don't think you can ever convince me the Building 7 just
You know what
fell
I think
from
about
a
Building
shock
7?
wave.
It's not for me to know. How about that? How about that, everybody? How about we don't know, and then we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah,
People are just not satisfied
with not knowing.
With not knowing. I love not knowing. That's my favorite. It's my favorite stance to take.
Ignorance is bliss.
Well, it's weird because it truly is the spice of life.
Yeah.
If you knew the future, your life would be devoid of meaning.
Exactly. Yeah. So, like, so much time, and people are just like, well, what do you believe in terms of, like, religion? And I'm like, I don't know. What happens to us after we die? Don't know. What do you believe? I believe I do not know.
Right. And it might be the point.
Yeah. And I'll find out when I get there. But in the meantime, I'm going to do what makes me happy currently.
The sensory input of mine is aching for a fucking jerk-off session.
Yeah. I'll just live my life and not tell gay people that they're going to burn in hell. How about that? Maybe that's
a good start. Start by not detracting and then try to approve from there. Yeah. Just don't take away from anybody.
Exactly. Just fucking, I don't know why people are just so into like what other people are doing is affecting them so hard. Just be like, I don't want that fucking guy kissing that guy around my... It's like Louis C.K. has a joke about it. Just like, so you don't want to explain to your kid for 4 seconds. They're just like, yeah, sometimes men want to love other men. Yeah. You don't want to do that. Because that's always the argument. It's like, what am I going to tell my fucking kid? I don't know. Talk to your fucking kid. Like, all these laws are going in because you don't know how to be a parent. It's like the most crazy shit.
Yeah, or it affects the sanctity of my own marriage. That these people are now getting married.
Oh, there's a great joke. Guy, Erwin Barker. I don't know if you know him. No. He's a comedian, so good. He was like a writer on 22 Minutes and just like one of Canada's best. He had a joke about like the whole... Like, I don't even understand how it would ruin I guess, like, what, gay family moves in next door and suddenly the wife's on you? Like, their hedges are always trimmed. Their yard looks so nice. They're always having parties. You're like, screw you, gay neighbors. Screwing up my traditional shitty marriage.
Raising the bar.
Well, I think the thing about knowing something, we should probably get you going here. You got 10 minutes.
Okay.
You got to get to a radio show.
Busy man.
Yeah. I think a lot of it though is like people really get off on knowing something someone else doesn't, right? So like the thing of saying you don't know, like because I find like anytime information comes out, you see it where like a new news story comes out, and someone's like, oh hey, have you heard about? And then it's like someone else will jump up from the crowd because they want to be the person to tell them first, and they're like, yeah, I knew before you did.
But I don't find that to be true because as a lifelong learner. As somebody who enjoys curiosities and learning things about everything, science, nature, whatever, I was always curious about how things worked and I would try to find answers. And when I would then try to relay those answers to people, and be like, someone will bring something up about like, some beetle. Like, did you know there's a beetle in Africa that does, and they're like, shut the fuck up. I don't want to know that. And I'm like, they're like, why? Like, you don't like learning? Like, it was always so shocking to me because like I love learning new things, but like I didn't realize that not everybody feels that way.
Yeah. Right. Well, I think it's a
total ego thing, though. Yeah.
Yeah, they just feel like
because they know they're not going to be able to retain it.
Or they feel like you're smart.
Live in the fascination of the moment. Just be fascinated by it and forget it later. Yeah. But it's still an interesting fact. Yeah. Did you know that female hyenas have a fake dick that hangs between their legs and they fuck the other males in the ass just to dominate them because the males are such dicks? You should be able to say that to anybody at any dinner party over any shrimp cocktail.
I mean, maybe take the profanity out, clean it up a little bit.
Okay, well, we'll close out on that. It'll give us a good time there, hour 15. We'll get you to your...
At Ivan Decker on Twitter.
Ivan.
Yeah, that's right.
Touring all over Canada.
Sure.
All the time.
Always. I'll never post my tour dates, though. I'm a secret.
Catch him on the Debaters. Follow him on Twitter and catch his secret shows. He just posts them like a minute before he goes on stage.
You'll never know where I'm going to
Get here. I'm at a hole in the wall on 15th and fucking Baker.
Yeah, you got to Google me to find out where I am. And even then, it's tough.
Very small footprint.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for coming on the show, man.
Hey,